This meeting is being recorded, apparently. All right. Cool. Hong Kong, Amsterdam, nice. Oh, outside of Moscow, I love this. Okay. Planetary call, this makes me very happy. Cool. All right, so people will be rolling in, that's fine. I'm gonna mute up everybody here. Continue. Let's see, okay, cool. All right. First, I want to welcome everybody. I know quite a few have been following me around here, which I really appreciate. It's been you know that there is always an adventure, which is great. And today will be no exception. So, wow, so many things to say. First thing I want to start with today is I want you to take a moment and think about for you. And I'm not looking for what the right answer is, right? Like in other words, you don't this isn't about, oh, I want to get it right or do it right, or there is a right, we want to, especially those of you that have been really hanging out with me, I really encourage you to drop the polarity and to really step into the framework of fun. So fun, play, these are things that, like when I was little, fun was more important than anything. Fun was like, food, what, water, what, who, what, I don't care that it's dinner time. I'm having fun, right? Because fun is like a thing, like it's real, and play is real, and that's, for me, that has always been the best format to learn in. And what's interesting today, and that's why I'm happy to see so many familiar faces here, because the mind and the energy field loves repetition. So many of you have heard this idea before or have taken a class, but because the mind loves the repetition, because our energy loves the repetition, this is how we learn. You can come into the class with fun. Like, we're going to come in and have fun and playful. And when I ask you about this question, I'm asking you not for the right answer, but the answer of clarity. So I look at it right now. I look at the spiritual path, and I see the path of pleasure as a spiritual path, because that is what it's been in my life. It's been an incredible force, as I'm sure it has been in yours as well, which is part of why you're here. And that path, part of that energy is the energy of clarity. So when I'm asking you this question today, this first question, what I'm saying is, if you're just clear in yourself, there is always an opportunity for some kind of healing in the context of play and in the context of pleasure. That's the paradox. It doesn't have to be hard, and yes, that's a lot of what the trainings tell you to do, and that's okay. It's perfect. It's good. There's also another path, which is this kind of path, this tantric path of more fun, more pleasure, more play, and in that context, healing. Now, if this is you're going to find a lot of things shifting your brain today if you're open. So before I ask you this question, 3 things. Number 1, only 7% of the information comes through words. So my words are very irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You can take notes, you can take copious notes, but that's not really important. Those are like distractions, little sweets for your mind, little flavors. So your mind can just be like, oh yeah, good. And I do that, it's a magic trick, to distract you from what's actually going on, which is the energetic play. Because the actual learning of this class that I'm sharing with you today, I've taught this all over the world for probably the last 15 years. When it first really struck me what was going on here and how to empower myself and therefore empower you to step forward in your life with your sex and your power and your energy and your fucking clarity. Boom. Because clarity is the new spirituality. Clarity is the thing that allows you to cut through all the noise. And there is a lot of noise. Everybody's grasping for your attention. And in grasping for your attention, they're also, in general, just the world works this way, trying to put you in some kind of box. Who are you? What are you? What do you believe? What do what is your thing, right? And that gets put into a box. And then if we accept that box, especially around sex, then we find, in general, our world tends to do this. Just smaller and smaller and smaller. And you wake up one day and you're like, how'd I get into this prison? How did I get here? What happened? And then we, of course, will often blow things up. And that's the cycle you're seeing right now. It's a cycle of compression and repression and suppression. And then there's an explosion of energy. And then that cycle starts again. So we want to step out of that cycle. And the beautiful gift that my intention to share with you today is to set you in a new direction with clarity to take the next step in your journey. Now, some of you will be continuing your journey with me. Many of you have, over the weeks and months, have been reaching out and asking for more. And there will be other ways for us to move ahead, because this is part of what my commitment is to. My commitment ultimately is to save you time on your path. Why? Because I spent 30 years on mine cutting through all the BS. And I'm like, I cannot, if you want to know something that fires me up, it is like somebody going through, thank you for the love. It is, somebody going through their life and being in some sort of opening, especially around sex, right? And especially if you are a vulva carrying human, something happens. You've been like in suppression, all of a sudden, boom, something opens. Maybe you have a sexual healing session or some energy or something happens, boom. You're like, whoa, wow, I'm just in the open. Everything's like, I'm in outer space. Whoa, right? Falling off the cliff of pleasure and freedom and spaciousness. And then the world is like, oh, damn, let me start controlling that. Let me tell you what that's about. Let me claim that. And so clarity is the super important part. Now, this is for all of us. That's what sexual energy is. Wakens us. Boom. I want you to be empowered on your path. All of you. Penis carriers, vulva carriers, empowered. I want you to be in you, like in your, like, just, you are who you are doing you, not following the rules, what I call the thou shalts that society gives you. This is how we think. We don't think. We want to come to clarity. And you get to that clarity through your experience. And you will have an experience today. So my energetic friends, people who have been hanging out with me, you already know what to do. If you've been in the 4-week training that I just finished, you start right there, right? I want you to start there. You start in the tools. You apply them right now, right here, right now. Boom, drop in your body. Listen not to the words, because the words are 7%. The energy, the feeling, the vibration in your body, the opening of your belly, your womb, your heart. This is where you listen from. And you drink. And I give you full permission. Some of you know this. I give you full permission to drink from the fountain. Those of you that know Monique, this would be my hell yes. Please feel free to tap in. If you were in Tuesday's class, use one of the connectors. I'll explain more of this, but for today's class, I want to just focus on one idea. Now, why are we focusing on one idea? Because one idea has the power to change the entire direction of your existence. One idea. That's what's possible today. And I've taught this, as I said, all over the world. I have had people last year at Burning Man, I was on my bike and I had some dude running down the street, half naked, bottom half naked, running down the street, just, and he goes, Lawrence! And I'm like, what? You know, Burning Man, and I'm just vibing. He comes up and he goes, dude, I took your class 4 years ago, right? Your class 4 years ago changed my life. Gave me a hug. That's the power of an idea. So a lot of you in different ways have been stuck in the cage. And that's okay. That's part of life. Right? That's the beginning of life, is what I call the thou shalts. Thou shalt be a good boy. Thou shalt be a good girl. Thou shalt do these things in this way because it has been spoken. And it's exhausting. And so the question I am asking you today, clarity, is what is and what has been the opposite of pleasure for you? What has that been? What has the thou shalt part of that been for you? What was the teaching around that? want you to feel that in your body. Like, what is that? It's very important to calibrate in clarity, not in what you're supposed to be, not in the enlightened version of you, but in the roots, in the blood, the snot, the mud of you. How has it actually shown up? So we're going to do a little breakout. And in this breakout, I just want you to share with your group. I want you to say hi, and I want you to share in this group how it's been for you. Not the polite answer, not the right answer, just what has it been? How have you been trapped or empowered or disempowered? Whatever it has been for you, it doesn't matter. Welcome what is real for you in this moment and also in the history. Like, what were some of the big lessons that you learned about that question, the opposite of pleasure? What was the training? What was the indoctrination? You're just taking a look. And I want you to meet in a little group, say hi to these beautiful faces around you, and then just share a little bit about what that has meant to you. This is so great. It is a miracle that we can be talking around the world on Zoom. I'm so happy you all are here. So, Tracy, on you, we'll do a little breakout and we'll meet back. The person alphabetically, go in alphabetical order. So the person alphabetically.
How much time for each of us?
Let's do, we'll keep it kind of short just because we have we still have a lot to cover. So we'll do like a minute each, roughly, somewhere in there.
Press the button.
Like that. So that's what this questionnaire is for. And I'll throw it in the, let me see if I can copy it real quick here. Get it to you. But if I don't, I'll get it to you before we leave here. So, okay. So now that takes care of all that because my brain is actually functional in terms of like being able to use my words. So that's good because it's about to not be, or soon will not be. So let's open up real quick and feel free to share in the window, like what has been, or let's open up and just a couple people, I want to hear what has been actually the opposite of pleasure to you. I want to share a little bit about that. Who would love to? Jerry.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, wait, hold on. We have a, I hear,
I'll go.
Okay, Jerry, you go first, and then whoever's on there, you go second.
What immediately came up for me was shame, rage, betrayal. My personality was squashed.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me a long time for me to get my personal power back.
Right. Beautiful. So what did that look like for you? Like what were some of the ways you were squashed around your pleasure? Just so
my dad had to end every conversation. All right, that's it. That's I don't want to hear anymore.
Okay.
So what that left me with was what I have to say doesn't matter. I don't matter.
Okay. So that gets into like worth, like that inner sense of worth, which is very crazy how pleasure is linked that way. That's why it's such a superpower. That's why I love this thing. That's why one idea can, boom, just change the direction of your existence. So thank you. I appreciate that. And Jerry, that feeling that you're feeling, whatever that is, that kind of like shame, squash, just stay with it. I want that to be present while we're doing this exercise. I want you to be energetically engaged, and I've got you. Please
Okay,
bring
thank
it. Your emotions are welcome. Okay, who's next? I heard a voice.
Hi, it's
Hi.
May.
Hey.
Hiya. Hi. So, I'm really enjoying your sessions. So the opposite of pleasure for me has manifested about 10 years ago as extreme physical pain with endometriosis and like labour-like pains on a regular basis, feeling full of broken glass, and a whole lots of different levels of pain all at the same time, and emotional pain, feeling shut down by people, intruded on, not recognised, talked over, people just not seeing me for who I am and seeing me and just kind of taking one look, and I can see in an instant I'm not of value to them, and then they think that they can talk to me however they like. So there's a lot of hurt around that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've just walked away from a 27-year relationship.
Oh, congratulations.
And I've met somebody that's given me ultimate presents, and I've never experienced so much bliss. So I'm getting there.
Fantastic. So that's the beautiful thing. All of your emotions are welcome. What does that mean? Thank you, May.
Thank you.
What does that mean? So when we say that, what that means to me is I'm saying one of the paths to healing, and there are many, one of the paths to healing is our ability to feel and lean into what isn't comfortable. And that's the paradox when we start to work with pleasure. We think, oh, well, everything should be pleasurable. And I would say a majority of your time, you want to be making decisions that move you towards feeling good in your body, in your womb, in your belly, in your sex. The training, the thou shalt training tells you to feel like that path of just continuously feeling will somehow lead you to liberation. My experience is if I can shift a majority of time into my pleasure, right? The field of pleasure, i.e. making not hedonistic pleasure, though that can be part of it, but the sense of I am worthy enough to feel good. I value myself enough to make decisions that make me feel good. Now, in this, kind of the more master kinds of training, we've got to get up here to clear the BS that even prevents that from being possible. That's where the deep work is. The deep work is unlearning the things. I guarantee you, everybody in here, many of you probably know more than me. It's not our knowing, it's not the knowledge, right? It really comes down to, especially when we're talking about breaking free and starting to live in that space. That is unlearning. And that has a feeling. So I want you to take a deep breath. Just breathe. And then exhale, just give that a sound. Yeah, and if your body needs to move, it shall move. All right. And you want to give it space to move. So think of pleasure as Think of pleasure as an energy, but not an energy that I crave or claim, because that ends up getting us into the cycle of more. Think of pleasure as a way of aligning your beliefs, your life direction, and your willingness to honor yourself. So one of my roles as teacher is to look inside of you and see and help you unleash that you who wants to live in your passion and your power. But I, as teacher, nudge you as a human stepping into that, you must yourself walk across that threshold. That is our journey. And that journey is a fascinating journey, because that journey has a lot of things that can get in our way. Right? So sometimes it's people throwing up stop signs and saying, oh, no, don't go there. That's scarier. No, that's not what we do. That's not right. And so clarity is the superpower that allows you to move through and find your direction. I have one student, and he called me last night just crying. What's going on? It was, I finally had the courage to leave my job. And I'm terrified. And I'm confused. I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I believe in me. I feel the belief in me. That's the power. Right? It's not that we're not going to we never feel uncomfortable. That's not even a thing. If you have a body, that's just the way the body is. There's discomfort. But it's like, yes, that's true. And can I create a context for my life, a why, a how, that's beyond the smaller things that want to grasp my attention? Now, those of you that are energetically attuned, because the room is starting to shift, those of you that have been hanging with me, just feel the vortex. Those of you that are new to this, just notice what you feel in your body. So I use a vortex of energy to clear the stuff out of your deep unconscious mind that isn't serving you. Now, some of that stuff, which is beautiful, just by bringing a little bit of awareness and a lot of energy, that just begins to fall into the ground. And I send that into the lava. And for some of you today, it will just drop away. That's the power of clarity. That is the power of energetic clarity. Now, I'm also starting to radiate my energy out. And you are welcome, as I said in the beginning, to just mirror, utilize, devour. Because that energy is here to help you take your next step. We all have a next step. And how you take that next step is everything. Do you take that next step in your limiting beliefs, in what your parents told you about yourself, in what the vaunted teachers have said about you, or do you take your step in your well-being, in your inner integrity? Inner integrity. It's not external integrity. Integrity. And only you can define that. That is the core of your being. That is the part of you, the quiet part of you, that integrity, in compassion, in strength, in empowerment. That when, like the tree, that core is strong, and when the wind blows, the tree is flexible. That is your spine. It is rigidity in our thinking and our beliefs that keep us in our prisons. It is not trusting because you've been taught to not trust yourself. I'm not trusting my, I know the future, or I know what's right. No. What I'm trusting is that no matter what happens, I will make decisions towards my freedom, my pleasure, my empowerment. And I trust that whatever happens will be in my favor, whatever the outcome. because that is how I want to live. It's a whole different thing when we shift our awareness from the world out there and what's happening to what's happening in here, leaning into the discomfort, listening into that discomfort, breathing into that discomfort, and bringing that into the field of pleasure. Another word for pleasure, kindness to myself. The impossible standards that you've been trying to achieve, that sense of like, oh, I have all this going on, but why do I keep doing this? Why does this keep happening? These things keep happening because deep in our psyche, we believe we're not enough. We believe that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough. We believe that sex is bad or wrong. In our core, these are not conscious things. You know, certainly anybody on the tantric path has worked through a fair amount of this stuff, but it doesn't mean that there aren't little parts deep inside of us that still feel shame for our pleasure. That are terrified to be seen in our orgasm, in our vulnerability. And yet, paradoxically, that is the very thing that makes us human. Our capacity to connect and be seen. And yet it's terrifying. So what do you do when deep inside of you, you want to be open and vulnerable and seen in all of your complexity? And many of us have gotten good at being seen in our pain. The invitation here is, am I willing to be seen in my pleasure? Am I willing to be seen in my desire? I mean, if you're really going there, it is fucking terrifying and beautiful. It's the thing we want and the thing we're So part of how we make space for that is we are leaning into the discomfort. I see your question, and I'll come back to them a little bit later. The thing is, it is not either or, but think of it as, can I create a general context for my life that is committed to my empowerment and freedom? Is that something I'm willing to take a stand for? Now, when I'm saying take a stand, what I mean is, am I willing to do the hard work? Am I willing to move through the discomfort to come back to the wholeness of my pleasure, of my freedom, of my spaciousness, of my kindness? This in no way negates our pain. it changes how we experience it. And this is a piece of work I've been doing during this time on myself. Revisiting many things inside of my psyche that have needed my attention. And part of what I was feeling was that if I integrate that energy and that trauma, and I really bring it back into my wholeness, I was feeling as if I would be giving something up. And that's sometimes why people are like, no, I gotta, right? Because there's an injustice being done. As May was sharing earlier, the injustice is you have a feeling and people are gaslighting you. This is basically, from 0 to your 20s, and many of us beyond, where it's like, no, I feel this, and somebody's like, no, you don't. That's not true. That didn't happen, especially around trauma. Just get over it. So we're not getting over it. We are shifting the way we relate to it, so that what happens is, instead of your trauma and your pain and the gaslighting that's been done to you and the humiliation and all of that shit, instead of it being like a drag, like an anchor behind you, when you're trying to move forward in your power and in your pleasure, and you're just like, whoa, just all this drag. Well, that's part of what we have to do. We have to clear those closets out. Just closets from 0 on through teenage years, where we're just like, oh God, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to feel that again. And we're like, well, how am I going to move ahead here? This is why I have students all ages. I'm so fortunate when somebody in their early 20s comes to me and says, I want help now. I'm like, amen, right? Because what is my passion? My passion is save you time. Because I spent all this time chasing down paths and struggling with this stuff. And so the idea that I'm sharing here, this is a spiritual idea. This is a spiritual path. The path of pleasure is the sacred spiritual path. Not the only one, certainly, but it is a deep path. Because it is connected to your life force and your desire and your ability to live your life fiercely and to live without shame, and just like, well, shame is there, but your capacity to handle it, you're just like, to stand in your inner integrity and be you. So take a deep breath and just, it's not about the words, it's about the energy. Breathe. And perhaps there is some stirring, and this is beautiful. Perhaps there is some ecstasy, and this is beautiful. Perhaps there is some heartache or womb ache or belly ache, and this is beautiful. Because, to be honest, at some point we have to draw the line and say, enough is enough. Which means when I draw that boundary, what I am stepping into is I am enough. I am enough. The answers are not out there. There are guides. There are people that can nudge you. There are people that can grab you and pull you out of your hole and say, hey, help you out there. But you must cross the threshold. You have to do the lifting. You're the one who finally says, enough is enough. So I can realize now I am enough. And because the mind loves repetition, those of you that have been hanging out with me, you've probably heard me say similar words, but the energy is always different because where I teach from is the infinite. I know the name of this class because I wrote it, but I have no idea what the content will be until we're here. So the context, what I know I'm committed to is saving you time and helping you move through the BS, which is here, the belief systems. 100%. I am also 100% fiercely committed to being me. Radical self-expression, radical self-acceptance. And when we reach the point where enough is enough, where we're going like, apologizing for being who we are, apologizing for taking up space, apologizing for our desires, and we say enough is enough, that is where you turn to realize enough is enough. I am enough. That is the energetic gift of this teaching today, of this sharing. I see you in there. I feel you. Let your breath spill deep and full. You start to realize that we can bring our emotions, and I know some of you are feeling things. That's why your emotions are welcome. Enough is enough. Because I am enough. Lean into your emotions. Lean into your feelings. There's space for all of it. And bring it in here. So I want you to share a little bit about what you're feeling. I want to open up the space. Whatever it is. You can unmute and just share a little bit about this before we start the next piece, which will be, but first I want to really be in the emotional shared space. So what are you feeling? What are you noticing? I'm just share with the group. When you share with the group, you have an opportunity to be supportive it. That's why I like to do this, like to just be witnessed. Yeah.
I'm feeling more authentic in my authenticity. It's that how I've been dealing with is the proper way for me. That is my pain is no longer pain-free.
Mm.
I would like the whole
Beautiful. Okay, I saw a couple hands here. Dave is waving.
Yeah. I have more numbness right now. I keep going through so many emotions for 10 years, and with my physical diseases, I've had so much pain, been saving my wife. I exhausted myself, massive trauma. She left without explanation. So I have had one thing after another, and I didn't even know what my diseases were and wasn't getting help for that until a few years ago. And it's like it just hasn't stopped. I keep getting hammered. So I want pleasure. I love pleasure as far as I know. But my God, so what's coming up is, well, I just keep going through waves of
Sure.
grief and rage, and it just doesn't stop. I've had
Fantastic.
10 years.
So here's what I want you.
So-
Here's what I want you to do. So thank you. I appreciate that. Right. That's that feeling of like, it doesn't stop. That's what I want you to lean into. That, the frustration, the rage around that, it doesn't stop. So just feel that. Okay. Now, I'm not asking you to feel the whole thing. I'm asking you to feel one specific thing, which is like, it hasn't stopped. Now, what that tells me, and so I'm going to invite you to take that into the meditation when we do it. What that tells me, a lot of us feel that, right? Because it's like, I come from massive amounts of trauma in my life, sexual trauma, emotional trauma, torture, abuse, crazy shit. And what doesn't stop is the way, if we're looking at it the way we've always looked at it, then it isn't going to stop. So when I hear you say 10 years and just listening to some of the words, and this is not work for us to do here, not in this, but I want you to share, and I want you to focus on it doesn't stop.
It hasn't yet.
Yes.
It hasn't yet.
Yeah, perfect. And just bring that into the space that we're going to do. Okay, just be open to that. That's all I can ask.
Sure. And I have focused on that.
Fantastic. Bring it into this. Just let it have the potential to be different. Today, right? You can always pick it back up, but just today, for the next, we're gonna have we've got less than an hour left. So for 45 minutes, just try something new. All right? That's the play part. You willing to do that?
What am I doing new? I missed that.
You have no idea yet because I haven't shared it.
Oh, okay.
So
Got it.
come play. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, we'll see you in a bit. We'll check back in. Okay, anybody else having some big feels? Okay, Becca?
Well,
So right now, once you said doesn't want to share, I instantly felt tightness, rapid heartbeat,
Yeah.
in the chest, and I'm like, all right, we gotta be courageous.
Mm-hmm.
When you were speaking, I definitely felt a dissolving. I felt myself allowing myself to be seen and allowing myself to be unapologetically authentic and stepping into my power and
Cool. Great. So that whole thing, that like tightness and heartbeat, right? This is the panic of us being us. That's normal. Right? I have to be vulnerable to come share with you. And if you don't think my heart is beating and I'm not shitting bricks, you are wrong. Right? It's just, you get comfortable with like, oh yeah. Right? Because there is a certain nakedness in being you. So we'll do one more, and then we're gonna move on. Jerry? Oh wait,
Yeah.
okay, two more.
Yeah.
So Jerry, go ahead, you go, and then I heard one other voice, and then we'll.
I've just been dropping in,
Great.
and belching for the last releasing of stuck energy.
Great.
And I feel very connected. And in my body and in my mind.
Beautiful. Thank you. I feel you. Love it. Keep leaning into that for the rest of it, right? You keep leaning in. Okay, I heard one other voice.
Hi.
Who was that? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Lisa?
Hi. I have so much adrenaline, like light, right? Running in and
Can you come a little closer to the mic? I notice it's just yeah, thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah.
So I have so much flight, right, running through me, and I feel like the adrenal glands, and I feel like it's one of the main things. If I look at it from a physical level, it's a layer that's keeping me from being totally healthy, and some of the symptoms I'm going through, and so I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I feel like this is, like it's a rewiring of neural pathways that keep triggering this, instead of finding other ways, that do feel grounded, and I can fully come into myself, fully come into my pleasure, my freedom, and and while still clearing the muck that needs to be cleared.
Yep. Right, for sure. So this is the balance piece that we're talking about, right? The context and what I'm going to share with you, we're going to create in about 5 minutes. We're going to start creating something for you to tap into in your being. That'll be the energetic teaching. The context is what we've been, there is this thing that we get taught that you've got to go like, keep hitting the wall in this certain way. It's hard to describe. But what we really want, what I want you to do, because it's similar, it's kind of similar to what Dave was saying in the sense of like, it's that lack of traction, right? It's like, what the fuck else do I need to do to get traction? Now, when you're coming from fear and trauma and confusion and uncertainty, right? It's so, those volumes get turned up super loud, and then the pleasure part gets turned down. And so we're trying to chase something that's like trying to chase a mirage. Okay, and if there are enough of you that this speaks to, I've been thinking about, but just hit me up privately. I was thinking about us doing a weekend, because I've had so much freaking trauma. I know we can do this on a weekend where we can hang out and move through that shit. We'll spend the weekend doing it, but if I told you we do not have time to tell you the shit I have been through. You wouldn't even believe, like I sometimes will tell people, like I'm hanging out, even my mom I was talking to, and she was like, wait, what? So I'm very passionate about sharing this because I want you to be free. I don't want you guys, what is the benefit to you being stuck in mud? Nothing. Literally nothing. But the benefit to the world of you being in your fucking power in being on the other side of your journey. There's always journey, by the way. This whole bullshit, like you reach some level of consciousness and you stick a flag in it and you're like, I'm done. Bring that person to me. I'll show you how done they are. This is a mythology. But if we get comfortable with that process and it becomes part of your process, then what you have is a methodology. What you have is a methodology, a way of working. Simple, by the way. These things have to be simple because when these emotions come up, they're so complex, they're so layered and buried. And I myself hit something at the beginning of COVID. And I was like, fuck, this is so intense. I had to find an expert. I knew what I wanted to do. I just it was too much to handle myself, which is why I myself, boom, find the expert with this particular level of trauma. I unearthed something around sex trauma that I was like, okay, I need help here. That's why it's so important. That's why we do this. This is why we reach out and get assistance and get mentoring, and because you cannot do it all alone. That is also a mythology. You can do a lot of it alone. Once you get the tools, you can do a majority of it alone. And when I say the tools, by the way, I'm not saying some bullshit, learn this thing and learn that thing and whatever. No, man, I'm talking about, it's a methodology. It's like an understanding of what's going on. So we're always running away from the stuff we're afraid of. We tend to be afraid of emotions in general. Humans are wired to run from their emotions. They run to drugs, they run to sex, they run to workshops, they run to books, they run because it's scary. And this is what our ancestors did. We ran. Oh, that's scary, run. But ain't no saber-toothed tigers around right now, except for me. But there are, in general, and if I bite you, you'll like it. You'll just be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Could you scratch my back? So, but yet we need to understand how our consciousness is working. These are very practical things. When you get them, they're simple, they're practical, and you practice them. Okay? So we're going to step into something, whatever your emotions are, welcome them. I love them. I have you. Okay? I feel your pain. I feel your rage. I felt some rage in this last cycle when I was like, okay, I need some help here. I felt some rage. Now, those of you that have seen me do this, I'll sit in the middle of a group and just devour all the energy. So I have a very large capacity for the shittiest energy in the world. No problem. And even I hit my limit. I was like, okay, time for help. Beautiful, sublime. So the idea, the energy of the idea that I'm about to share with you, even if you've heard it before, even if you know what I'm about to share with you, I want you to open your womb. I want you to open your belly. I want you to relax your sex. I want you to kind of suck in the energy, the energetic teaching in there, and let it touch you deeply. Let it touch places that haven't been touched. And we're going to do this relatively fast because it's already almost an hour and a half into this. These things don't have to take 10 weeks or 10 hours. That's why I know I am very confident for those of you that are feeling fierce, we can do a lot of clearing over the course of a weekend. You'd be shocked. Heavy lifting? Abso-fucking-lutely. But that is the underlying principle that I'm sharing with you. You do the heavy lifting for brief periods of time. And then you spend your time in your openness. I have a general rule of thumb, general principle that if I am doing something, where I'm like busting things or whatever the thing is, if I'm doing that for more than 10 minutes, I just take a break. Because if it ain't working, it's not going to work in 10 hours. When you get traction, it's fast. It's fast. Boom. I want you to get comfortable with things being fast. That's what it is to be an energetic being. You're feeling your stuff and then you're like, boom, change, shift. Because it's energy, it's life. The only thing that gets stuck is up here, the belief that you can't, the belief that it has to be hard, the belief that you have to break things and fuck yourself up so that you can finally let go. Yeah, you can do that. Totally fine. Totally. I can send you places where you can do that over and over again. And that's cool. I've done it. And I've discovered, there are other paths. Shake it, girl. Shake it. So, who is ready? Yeah, fabulous. Okay, I want to take a pee break so I don't pee in my pants. So why don't we take a quick, do water in, water out, get your space super comfy, and then we'll meet back here in like 2, 3, 4 minutes. Principle number 1, when you have to pee. It's basic principles of enlightenment. When you're hungry, eat. Get your body comfortable. Get your space comfortable. If you need to shake and shiver during this process, feel free. I'm gonna check out my music here. If let's see here. So what we're doing here, we're doing one key piece. Keep it very simple. This is one key piece. This is planting a seed for the rest of your life. Start to tune into your breath. Now, your sex, the reason we keep talking about the sex center, the essence of Tantra, this is where we want to plant our seeds. So you want you want metaphorically and to some degree literally this core channel open. So I'm, so like I want to, let's see here, I'm turning the camera down a little bit. So what I'm saying is this core channel from the root, from the sex, open and relaxed. So you're starting to tap into from your sex, from your body, and make any adjustments, right? Make any adjustments to your clothes, to your wardrobe, whatever, because you want to start opening that core channel. Feel your connectedness to the earth. Uncross your legs. If you can be in a more open position, be so. Oh, unless you're in lotus position, you can have your legs crossed if you're in lotus, because your root is on the root. That's fine. I just want that root channel open wide. Let your spine be flexible. Let your breath be full. Now here's the weird part. You could be feeling all the feels that you have feeling, and you're going to start to feel pleasure. Thank you. Because pleasure is an emergent property. It is a way that we honor ourselves. The sacredness of pleasure comes from the context of I am enough. Just inwardly from your womb, from your belly, from your root. I am enough. Now, because the mind loves repetition, no matter what you've been saying before, no matter what you've been feeling, if you feel it, you begin to believe it. So breathe it. I am enough. That is your mantra as we begin. I am enough. Now, for some of you, that's going to feel foreign. That's okay. That's what learning is. Learning is knowing that you don't know sometimes. Learning is learning to feel uncomfortable in the context of your pleasure, your freedom. Breathe in. And from your heart, from your being, from your root, inwardly say, I am I am. Just listen and feel into the echo of I am. This is a way of feeling, of attuning to being. I am. I am. So I am is that sense of openness to the universe. It is without identity. And we're going to take it a step further to just I. With your breath circulating, I. Before there are labels, before there are stories, before there are traumas, before there are neglecting, before all of that, I. Even before the am gets there, there is I. That seed is in you, and I want you, whatever that means to you, whatever that feels like to you, whatever that looks like to you, I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. Feel the echo of that. Just I. And I want you to go deeper inside. I want you to open the channels of your body deeper. I want you to be willing to let the emotions flow. I want you to be willing to let the BS flow into the ground. Your spine is moving. If it isn't moving, find that little motion in there. Just that little motion, right? That's your life. That is the tree that is weathering the storm and getting stronger. It's not that there won't be storms. And I learned this lesson 30 years ago now from a beautiful, beautiful, massive pine tree up at Mount Shasta. The tree said to me, if you drop the story, just put it down for a little while, then there is just I. And when the storms come, it is not our job to take on that energy, that bullshit, that pressure, those belief systems, all the social stuff that's telling you what to be, good girl, good boy, good person, this thing. No, that goes into the ground. Because what is true is I. Being. whatever you feel with this energy right now, maybe it's a tingling or vibration or whatever it is, welcome that sensation right now. Breathe it in. And you can say out loud or quietly to yourself, I. Beyond the story, because right now what I want you to do is notice that it is relatively easy now to just put the story down. I am literally calling the energy of that tree, which I've been connected to now for 30 years, to share this teaching with you. The tree is without the story. And it can't move. So it's developed this beautiful energetic system to feel the wind and send that energy, the storms, the challenges, and send that into the ground now. It is not your responsibility to carry the story. It is your responsibility. It is your ability to respond with your ability to be able to shake free of the disability. That's the programming. At the level of I is your ability. And so we plant the seed I. And you flow that with your breath up the core channel. You open your belly, your womb. You open and suck in that earth energy, that support. And you drop, just for a little while, just drop the story, put it down. Yes, all of those things happened. That is true. I believe you. Even if you don't believe you, I fucking believe you. Value yourself right now enough to put the story down into the ground. So you begin to feel the uplifting quality of I that allows your heart to open and allows your belly and womb to open, allows your sex to release. I believe you. I don't care how many people didn't believe you to this point. I believe you. I feel you. Send that energy of the story. Gift yourself that. Put the stories down. You deserve more than to keep fucking feeling your history over and over again. You deserve more than that. But the only person that can give that to you is you. The world doesn't owe you that. That's our child speaking. We have to claim that. And you get to decide now because now is all we have. And energy can change now. You can flip a light switch now. You can shift your direction 1 tiny degree now. 1 insight in your thought, 1 inner sight in your awareness, 1 feeling in your body that changes your direction almost imperceptibly. Trust that you, with 1 degree, will thousands and thousands of times. It's 1 degree. And so I want you to play with, to try on, to suck in, to drink in while your body is more open. I want you to try on 1 thing. One idea deep inside. Open the channels of your being. Open the soles of your feet. There's meridians at the soles of your feet. Open them. Don't worry if you don't know how. It doesn't matter. There's no right way. We're just having fun. Open those soles, those connections, those chakras. The soles of your feet and the palms of your hand. You are opening. You are being willing to change the blueprint deep inside. I first had this insight that I'm sharing with you 25 years ago. And it hit me, cannot even explain. Because in that second, I reoriented the entire course of my life, which is how I come to be sitting here in front of you. It's when I said, enough is enough. I am enough. It is when I said, things will change because I will change them. I may not be able to change the external. I certainly can't change what the fuck has happened to me in my history, but I can change how I experience all of that, how I organize it, how I shift the story of me. So there is just one idea that I want you to take deep inside. I want you to feel your curiosity. Feel your desire to learn. One idea that I still haven't shared, but it's coming. That's right. Just feel inside The energetic teaching is already underway. Just feel what you feel, notice what you notice. And get ready. Key idea is that the opposite of pleasure is not what you've been taught. It's not the training. It's not any of the systems that tell you to be afraid or small. This is what I call stepping into spiritual, energetic adulthood. That the opposite of pleasure, rewrite the blueprint now. The opposite of pleasure, hear me from your being, is more pleasure. How would your life change now as you begin to take in the beauty and absurdity and sublimeness that the opposite of pleasure is, in fact, more pleasure? Because when you expand in your pleasure, in your orgasm, in your fire, it's like a spring that uncurls and then it comes back, but it never comes back to the same place. And so that becomes your baseline. I have this experience. I feel that orgasmic pulse that's making the hair stand up on my arms. That's opening the idea of possibility. And then that becomes over time, because we're humans and we adopt and we adapt. And so that baseline of like, oh man, I felt so good, that becomes your baseline. That becomes your normal. And once that is your normal, then the opposite of that is even more pleasure. Now, this is, in fact, the operative principles, the way the universe works. What we focus on becomes what we get. And so when we're living in these realms of polarity and contraction, and we're focusing on our pain, and we're beating the shit out of ourselves, and we're in our guilt, and we're in our shame, and we're all that stuff, well, the universe says, okay, guess what? The opposite of shame is more shame. No problem. I can do that. When you get this, whether it's now or in 5 minutes or in 5 weeks or in 5 months, you'll know now. Because something is tingling and vibrating inside, not at the conscious level. 7% of the words is all that matter. Nothing. It's the deeper level, your deep unconscious blueprint. That's changing. Changing the rules of your life, which in fact changes everything. And so the paradox is The more you cultivate pleasure, the more pleasure you get to feel. Now, remember, what I'm saying when I say pleasure is well-being. Being well. This takes cultivation because the world is asking you to be disconnected and sick and tired and not enough and never enough and not good enough and not this enough and not that enough and not that enough, because that's the planet we landed on. Okay. You have to take a stand for your well-being. Nobody will give that to you. So I want you to say from your heart, from your womb, from your belly, that you are the one taking the stand for you in your life. That you are willing to do what it takes. Just try on the idea. You literally have zero to lose. Try it on. I never speak of truth with a capital T. I speak of ideas. This idea I have been living with for 25 years, and it has created more freedom and space and pleasure and the capacity for me to heal and grow and learn and hang out in the unknown. I spend the majority of my time in that openness. When your house is clean, when bullshit is there, it's so easy to see. The opposite of pleasure is that's right. Let that echo in your psyche. Try it on. If you don't like it, drop it. Take something else. Who cares? But if you like well-being and you like feeling good, I assure you that focusing and taking action and steps in your life that make you feel good will make you feel good, which in turn makes you feel good, which in turn feels better, which makes you feel good. It's just you have to decide when you're ready. When I say decide, it's not really a decision. It's just, have you had enough? Have you had enough to become enough in your life now? I want you to feel into that, whatever that means to you. Feel into that. Breathe into that. Drink the seeds of that. It doesn't need to make sense. Try it on. play with it. And we're going to let the energy move a little bit here. Let that body move, make some space. Give yourself some permission. Make some space. Relax and move big. Breathe. Let that breath get you full and free. Come back into your body. 2 hours sliding by as these things do. Just feel your body. Feel your body. Feel your breath, your sweat. The beautiful thing about energy is it can change in a moment. Shift. The more you experience that, the more freedom you can play in. It's a practice, it's training, it's practice, it's play. But I assure you, wherever you are, there is a world on your timeline where you get to be more free. More you. And of course, that's what I want from you. So, that officially brings the opposite of pleasure now echoing in your head. And your belly and your womb is more pleasure. Why? Because that's why. Because it feels good. Good enough. Good enough for me. So I'm gonna hang out and we'll. Oh, cool. Okay, I see a couple people. Yes. So here, this is what I'm gonna do right now. I'm putting in my private email address. If you want to do the weekend, what you're gonna do is, and I'll make sure it's reasonable. Email me and say weekend in the header. Weekend. Boom. And because we're gonna do this and more. We're gonna have fun doing it. That's the crazy part. Oh my God. What? So I'm gonna unmute, or Tracy perhaps. So we can just, I would love you just to share your experience, whatever you're feeling, whatever is going on. It's all good. Because if you're on the train, this is the other part that I want you to, it's not this weekend. It'll be, I don't even, it'll be like within the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere in there. I've got to look at my schedule as well. So yeah. So it's just come and really clear out the closets. So share with me a little bit about what you noticed, what your takeaway is, because this part that I learned, this is something that's completely new for me, by the way. I never used to do this. But I really realized that this is an opportunity to help us integrate and then utilize the entirety of the group to share the different... So, who would love to just say a little something? Tell me what you're... Oh, I see a hand up there.
Hey, can I talk?
Yeah, of course. Yes, Frederick.
Ooh, wow. That's expression. And yeah, amazing. And I feel incredibly empowered. And also now very nervous also looking at you and feel my authentic I self power, really power. And I also somehow believe that there are definitely more. It's more pleasure. Okay, more pleasure. And yeah, wow, it's amazing. I also just feel like I would love to share you and so incredibly funny experience and story that happened just in this workshop with my partner just beside me.
Yeah,
I felt this rage that you were talking about, and I wanted to share before, and I didn't came to that point where I could share, or so I missed that anyway. And then I get really annoyed. Fuck, I'm not sharing myself now. What the hell am I doing? I'm not doing that. I just felt that rage, and it was so annoying, and I kind of tend to just project that out a bit to my partner, because I kind of project that, fuck, and then during the pause, I walked over to the sink, and I just peed in the sink because I felt for that, and I flushed the water. And then she is never annoyed. She never shows her anger. She never shows that. And that pisses me off, because I don't know. It just pisses me off because, anyway. And in this moment,
feel it.
Yeah, suddenly she pushes me to the side so I cannot pee all over myself. Like, how fucking funny is that? And
That's
how
amazing.
annoyed. Yeah, amazing. And yeah, I just want to share that story. And
Hilarious.
yeah, it's a lot of funny things happening in life sometimes. And also freeing. Yeah, play of energy. And I feel strongly encouraged and empowered to really enhance my energy, work, and yeah, thank you so much for that.
You are welcome, Frederick. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Right, who
Thank
else?
you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank
Deeply.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, I hear somebody.
Dice Marika here.
Oh, yes.
Eres. qué belleza que eres, how beautiful you are. You are that tree shining and eres, te lo quiero decir. I wanted to say in my native language.
Yes, please.
Eres ese árbol, you are that tree. And I was here in Berlin, I am in Kreuzberg, and I was with, I am a meditation, I organize Tantra workshops, and one of our pupils was discussing about him not feeling well, and I said, look, let's come to this place, and we will stay together, and we will say, enough is enough. I told him this. Okay, and I told him, if we have to be 3 hours, we are going to end with this shit that you think. We will say enough is enough. And then I came here and I did this. I will show your video because
Fantastic.
I will say, go with this guy.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. I feel you. It is so empowering. So empowering to feel your to get to that point where you're like, enough is enough, because that's what it takes. It really takes that. It takes especially around trauma and, you know, the nonsense, the programming. It just takes that. It's like empowered rage, enough, boom, it moves you forward. That's the rocket fuel. That plus sex energy, forget about it. Right? That's the beauty. Anyway, yes, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I love your space too. That's incredible. Amazing. Who else would love to integrate?
Is LawrenceTheEnergyMaster.com?
Yes.
Thank you.
You got it.
Well, let me tell you, Lawrence, I'm going to have such a purge because you knocked some really evil shit loose in me with this. I feel
lucky you.
The nausea is there, and I don't get nausea. I physically don't have the first two gag reflexes. So purging that way is very difficult, but you knocked some shit loose in me with this one, and it's gonna happen. It's coming out. And I thank you. I thank you so much.
Yes.
So much.
Yes.
I just hope it happens before I have to go get my amputee brother and take him to wound care, because that's not gonna be pretty. But thank you so much.
It'll move. It'll move. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love that. That's it. You're in it. It's already happening. So you're good. You're good. Just really let it be fun and easy, and it's good. That's good. Thank you. All right, who else would love to integrate a little here? Yes. Becca.
So there was one point during the thing where your screen froze, and my computer, sometimes my Zoom connection is shit, and then it just crashes, and every time my heart stops and I'm like, oh fuck. And then all of a sudden I just felt a wave of release, and I started laughing, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so playful and fun, and then you unfroze. And I was like, okay, I trust if it crashes, I'll be able to get on, or that's what's supposed to happen. And then it added a new, like, light, playful, curious element to the rest of the experience. And then, yeah, so thank you.
That's awesome. Right, yeah. So you see, like, just a simple shift, right? Just a simple shift, like, oh, okay, this can be fun. Like, it's so profound when you get this now. Like, it's like, oh, wait. Because then it's like, well, just bring it. Like, whatever is going to come, bring it. Because my frame is whatever is going to come, I'm going to handle it. I know you will all handle it because you're here. If you didn't handle it, you wouldn't be here. You made it this far. Which I trust you will continue to do so. And then if you shorten that time down, that's even better. So thank you. Who else? Thank you. That is beautiful. Thanks, Becca. Yes, Natalie.
Natalie, hi. So this is the second workshop I've done with you, and I've done a few.
You're brave.
No, it's been wonderful. I've done a few of the guided meditations throughout this week, and I continue feeling like I'm not feeling what other people are feeling. I don't understand. Like I'm not connected, and I know I'm not connected. I'm really new to all of this, and I just wanted to say that the last time I talked to you, you had finished by saying, whatever your experience was, that is what you needed to have, and it just sort of like took away some of that frustration and anger in me. Like, okay, that's cool. We're here. This is where I'm at. And then today, I was finally able to feel parts of my body that I haven't felt in I don't know how long, in how many years and
wow.
decades. Just thank you for that. Because
That's amazing.
I've been trying so hard to reach those places, like in a very physical, somatic way, and I haven't been able to. So thank you for that.
Okay, so do me a favor while you're feeling that. This is really important. So this is part of that, just like practice right now, which is like, wow, I'm feeling parts of my body. Boom, feel them. Like even go deeper, right? Because the opposite of pleasure is more pleasure, and you can do that right now. So I want you to just do that. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. Breathe into that space that you're feeling in your body and welcome that. Right? This is the training. It's learning to gift ourselves when the opportunities come and make space for that. Make space for that. So Natalie, I want you to just breathe in and welcome the places in your body that you're feeling, because you're waking up from whatever it was that was keeping you trapped in not feeling.
And when you had mentioned, oh gosh, I don't remember how you said it now. Essentially to change our narrative. I couldn't. When you think, it like messes things up, right? So I'm like, but I'm so detached from feeling. And then I thought, okay, that's it. I feel like that's the narrative I'm changing.
Yes.
I feel now.
Yes. Beautiful. And the way the mind works, it's just a rule. It's a law of the mind. It's the law of energy. If you I feel, you claim it. Boom. Nobody's going to give it to you. We're all waiting like, oh, there's going to be some person with the magic key and they're going to unlock my vagina or whatever the story is. And it's like, that's marketing. The reality is it starts with you. And then that capacity perhaps makes space for another human to well, I know for sure we'll make space, of course, but it starts here. So that's beautiful. This is a celebration. Put that on your mirror, Natalie. Put that on your mirror. I feel. Get one of those whiteboard markers. Put that right on and put on I am enough. All of you do that. Put on your fucking mirror I am enough. So you look at that every day. You wait, yeah. It's crazy, but it's like that's how it works. It's like you are valuing you, and then that creates the space and the breathing room to be more you. So thank you. And really claim that. When you go to sleep tonight, claim it. Claim the feeling. Just like, I want more. I want to feel more. And you're going to, at some point, I'm just telling you, you're going to feel some shit that you haven't wanted to feel. That's okay. It's normal. That's why we build the capacity for pleasure, because that context is so big that no matter what comes in, it's like, okay, yeah. One of my students, she was saying she was stuck in all this grief and just going in this loop about the grief and the rise and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it hits her. She goes, whoa, wait a minute. Let me bring all of that into the context of I am, of I feel, of pleasure. And she was like, it's like this paradigm shift, because stuff will come up. That's normal. If we're in our pleasure as stuff comes up, it becomes exciting. It becomes like, whoa. So thank you. And I want you to be fierce. Like I promise you, the stuff that comes up when you're ready. It won't come up before, it'll come up when you're ready. But it starts with that first step, which is I feel. And prior to this moment, it served you to not feel. So now you're ready. That's the beauty. And really trust that process and be very gentle. There's no rush. There's no race we're running. There's no place to get to. Climb to the top of the mountain, stick a flag in it. Great. And you got to work your ass back down the mountain because you can't hang out on the mountain with a flag in it come down, hang out, go back up again, whatever. So just chill, enjoy, make more space, really know you're safe in your feeling, because you are. That's one thing I can assure you as an adult, we really actually are. Okay, anybody else love to share?
Can I share?
Hey. Yes, and then, yes, please.
It's the second workshop I took with you, and for some reason it's been a very different effect for whatever reason. Like last time, almost from the first phrases, I felt like in a spaceship, and it was very easily expansive for me, very light, and I could feel all the shifts very clearly, and it was quite beautiful. And for some reason today, maybe it's a combination of factors, I just feel anger, stuckness, like heavy in my head. I feel like
fantastic.
Quite horrible, to be honest.
Yeah, beautiful. That's great. Right? So
vomit almost.
Yeah, good. Well, we had a couple of those. So all that's telling you is that we went to a deep place where the energy is stirring. This is great. I used to call this workshop that I would do, at some point, my friend was like, you need to call this thing stir, because every time you do, like, the energy will move. The energy doesn't owe you feeling good. It owes you moving the energy. And that's really the thing. So what I want you to do is, I'm sure you have some practices, use your practices, simple, keep it simple. I don't want 8 hours of whatever, just super simple. Listen to the I want to vomit. Listen to it. That's something pulling on you. There's something under there. Listen. Trust yourself that you have the capacity to feel that. Okay? We don't always feel comfortable. That is just like, please take this with you. Life does not owe you feeling comfortable. We have to cultivate that. We have to carve that space and say, no, I'm going in all of this stuff, I'm going to find my well-being. And then when you do that, which is what I think is going on for you, that's evidence that you've created enough space in your psyche that you can then allow some of this deeper stuff to start to surface. And you listen to it, go right towards it. You go right towards it and you listen and you open and you say, okay, I'm here. Please speak to me. And let it communicate. If you truly just allow it to communicate, it's very simple. Trust, it doesn't need to make sense. This stuff doesn't make sense. It's not going to have a rational conversation. It can be completely sometimes insane. Just let it, yep, I hear you, I feel you. Boom, let it go. Listen, 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 and just notice what happens. Okay, and I'm gonna set this for you right now, really quickly, if you're willing to. Just take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just feel. Just say, I'm going to completely give myself permission to feel this, because this is a little part of you trying to communicate. So see it as that, for what it is, which is you. There's something in here that wants your love and attention. Yes. Make some space. And anybody can do this. You're welcome to join along. We're just really just feeling into, because this is a movement of energy. When energy gets stuck, it can feel like all kinds of things. When it moves, you move into ecstasy. You move into well-being. It's just a natural consequence. So I want you to listen completely with your sex, with your pussy, with your womb, with your belly. You listen. You breathe. You open to it. You open to it. You just go, boom, I'm going right in there. Talk to me. And then just share in this moment, just notice, just share what you feel. Whatever that is. It doesn't need to make sense. What do you notice? Where is it taking you?
It feels like crying.
Yes. So feel the crying. Just feel right into it. Yes, your emotions are welcome.
And something kind of like stuck on the head. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah. Feel the stuck. Just feel it. There's no sense to these things. Let them be senseless. Just feel. Yes. Okay. And just feel that cry. Let it cry. Go. I want you to just take some time to cry. Go someplace where you can curl up with a pillow and cry and write some stuff down, but let this flow. It needs to flow. It is begging for you. Now is your chance to love you in the way that you've always wanted to be loved. Yes. It's okay if it's scary. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. It's okay. Let it move. The seeds have been planted. Trust that process. Okay. Yes, that breath right there. Take one more of those. Yes. See, that's energy, man. That's what's so beautiful. Like even that little laughter, you're recognizing something. It doesn't need to make sense. You're just like, oh, it doesn't, sometimes it's just a flash insight. It's just, oh, I got it. And then it's gone. Perfect.
Mhm.
So I really invite you. I've had some beautiful cries. I want you to have one. Really let it go. I have had some beautiful full body, like like those kinds of cries. So good. Yeah. And the laughter. Also good. Beautiful. I've had tear laughters and laugh tearers.
And if it would feel hysterical, that's also okay.
Beautiful. Let it be hysterical, because that's probably the bullshit that's holding you back. Be hysterical. You know, if you got roommates, let them know, hey, I'm going to be hysterical so they don't call the police or something. But other than that, please. Okay? And then let me know. I mean, I know already, but I'm just saying for you, like you can. All right. We'll do one more because I know we got to get going.
Lawrence, yes, please. Here, Jenny here.
Jenny, go.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I feel my heartbeat, and I feel nervous, and because I'm the partner from Frederick, so I'm the one who was pushing him.
Oh, fantastic!
And yeah, and I feel just incredible what the journey this evening brought to me, and like the responsibility, like I am able to respond, and I am enough, and I am good, and I am how I am with all the emotions, and to allow myself all this coming up and to feel safe. And thank you for holding and creating this space to show my fire, what is awakening more and more, to live it also, and to respond to my partner Frederick. So it's very intense. And
yes. Do me a favor, okay? Here's the gift.
Thank you for the seeds. Thank you for the seeds.
Here's the gift. Feel that fire. Okay? That shit doesn't scare me. Okay? I don't care if it scares you. It doesn't scare me. Look me in the eye and share your fucking fire. It's okay.
Yes, I am on fire.
Yes, that's it. Right?
And
Feel
I am
that.
Safe.
Yes.
It's incredible,
Okay, and make more space, right? This is what we're talking about with energy. So the opposite of fire.
More fire.
Yes. Right? That's what you want. You want that channel, because that fire is like, sometimes it takes fire to burn and create change.
Yeah, sometimes the treasure is so close, like for example in my partner, and then I don't recognize it really. So sometimes it needs another channel or a gift like you to,
Of course, that's that's the beauty. That's why we do this. So
all together. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the host already left, so we gotta roll. I love you guys. Thank you. If anybody who's interested, please hit me up, because I think there's gonna be enough people to do this, and we're gonna do a weekend of this kind of stuff, really clearing out the closets. I'll come up with something that's affordable, and I'll. What I want there is I want something that you're committed to. And that's part of it. I also want you to start to understand. A lot of Tantra people are money, this thing. That's because we don't understand the energy and we're not owning the fucking fire. Because that fire, if you start to see and feel things as energy, it's all available. Literally all available. Because it's energy first. And so, sometimes things are challenging, uncomfortable, sensations, whatever. They're pushing boundaries, belief systems. Yes, absolutely. That is the energy we need to accelerate.
Lawrence, can we invite dear ones to the weekend too?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, probably be a good idea, because then you'd have a shared language, So, all right, my peeps, love you. You got my email address? Hit me up.
We send your email, or can we put
Yeah, the email's here, and you can definitely just drop me a line, and we'll get it organized.
Amazing.
Yeah, Amazing. We'll get it organized. And of course, I would definitely recommend, you'll have the community of people you're working with in here. But if you do have a significant other, for sure, it would make sense. It seems like, so we'll go from there. And I look forward to seeing you again one way or another. And I love the diehards here hanging to the end. They're just like, yes, I love this. My peeps. So, love you guys. Have a beautiful time. The opposite of pleasure is...
Pleasure, more pleasure.
Yeah. All
More
right, y'all.
pleasure.
Love it. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye,
thank
everybody.
you.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you for sharing and integrating. See you soon.